Bread and Light, a Parisian tale of love and redemption. In the spring of 1876, John Valley worked 12 hours a day at the Montmartre bakery, his hands always dusted with flour, his shirt always damp from the ovens. He was 32 and had never missed Mass, not even during the riots of 71. His neighbors called him Saint Fizel, not just because of his piety, nor his tall, wiry frame, but because he gave away the ends of the loaves to hungry children and never charged old Madame Leroux for her morning brioche. John's life was simple and he liked it that way. Until one Sunday afternoon his friend Henri convinced him, dragged him more like, to the open-air dance at Le Moulin de la Galette. He went reluctantly, standing awkwardly beneath the painted windmill, nursing a warm cider. He didn't dance. He watched. And then he saw her. She had cherry blonde curls and wore a faded yellow dress with lace at the collar. Her laugh rang out, bright but tired, like a bell that had been rung too many times. She danced with men who all leaned in too close. When she sat alone for a moment, John couldn't help himself. "Pardon, mademoiselle, would you care to dance?" She looked up, surprised, not by his presence but by his gentleness. In the hard heart of Montmartre, life moved with the rhythm of bread and bootsteps. For John, each arduous day working the ovens was a quiet devotion to craft and kindness. And in this world of relentless toil and scant reprieves, fate, he felt, was about to intervene. She said yes. Her name was Claire. She had a chipped tooth, an unplaceable accent, and eyes that didn't match her smile. She made a joke about his clumsy steps, and he laughed harder than he had in years. They danced twice more, and when dusk settled in and the cafe lights began to glow like stars on the ground, he offered to walk her home. "I don't live far." But she didn't let him follow. Instead, she kissed his cheek, just there, barely a whisper, and told him, "Don't come looking." Of course he did. 2 days later, he spotted her near Rue Lepic, arm in arm with a grey-bearded man in a velvet coat. "She's a working girl, John. I'm sorry." "You didn't know?" John said nothing. He sat in silence for days. But his prayers were louder. He asked for understanding, then forgiveness, for himself, for her, for wanting things he didn't fully understand. A week passed, then 2. One evening, while closing the bakery, he found her standing there in the glow of the shop's single oil lamp. "I told you not to look for me." "I didn't! You found me," said John. "Why even speak to me again? You danced with me when no one else would. I don't need to ask what you do, I only ask, are you safe?" Claire let out a sigh. "Not always." "I could bring you bread, just bread, nothing else." She stared at him. Not in love, not in hope, but in disbelief. No one had ever offered her just bread. Over the next months, John did just that. Left a small bag by the rail behind her apartment near Pigalle. No notes, no demands, just bread, sometimes still warm, and once, an apple. Spring came again. On Palm Sunday, she walked into his bakery in a plain dress, her curls pinned back, eyes brighter. "I've left that life." John looked up. "I have nothing," Claire continued, "but I can knead dough." "You'll ruin your hands," John said pleadingly. Claire looked at John, her eyes lovely in the morning light. "I want to ruin them doing something real." And thus every Sunday, John and Claire walked to Mass together, fingers not quite touching, but always close. They worked side by side that summer. She was terrible at first, burned rolls, dropped pans, but she laughed more. And he prayed as always. Only this time, he added prayers of thanks. The neighbors whispered, of course they did, but whispers fade when kindness speaks louder. John still gave bread to the poor, and now Claire learned how to bake and gave cake to the children, and laughter followed her like a hymn. Thank you for watching. Please do not hesitate to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you want more of this type of content. Au revoir, and have a nice day.